Remember, these episodes are not for watching, they are for listening. So please go enjoy yourself on a walk, go to the gym, or wherever you're going to listen in the car, for example, and then you'll find the most value in that. What's this episode about? You can't outrun your addiction. And it's a beautiful sentence, it's a beautiful saying. You can't outrun your problem, would be the other way of saying it. The problem, I'm going to give you immense value in this. I swear to God, I promise. With that being said, the original starting of any episode, of course, on the Bulletproof Mindset podcast is that the app that I've created, Bulletproof Recovery app, is a sober tracker. It will help and improve your journey on your sobriety. It tells you about whatever substance or behavior addiction you have. It's going to tell you how best, not how best, it's going to tell you the benefits of recovering. So alcohol, 24 hours, you're going to have liver improvements. 7 days later, you're going to have sleeping improvements. These are kind of some examples. Along with that, I'm going to share with you my school community. It is in the description, the first description link, and then we'll get on from the school community, free groups, free community, particularly around addiction, alcohol and cocaine videos in there right now. Let's delve into it. You can't outrun your addiction. Well, what is addiction? Addiction would be a way of escaping, running, filling a void, and getting a fix. Yeah, we've all heard of those sentences before. I've used them before, and I will use them again in the future. Addiction is a fix, quote unquote. Addiction is a solution to a problem. Now, I've done great research over this last weekend, not only for this episode, but just in general for my own wellness and mental health, you could say. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is I researched how much people in the world, quote unquote, have problems, whatever that means, goodness gracious. And basically, research says, whatever the research says from Claude, sourced from Claude, I wonder how that feels, sourced from Claude AI. Research suggests that 3 to 7 images, pieces of content, memories, identity shaping, people in general have 3 to 7 negative storylines in their mind about themselves. It's a grief, it's a loss, it's a failure, it's an upset, it's a rejection. It's whatever it is for them. Now it's being bullied. It's now dictating their life going forward, unconsciously, of course, unconsciously. So I'm setting the foundations for this episode, and it will make all of what I'm saying right now is going to make even more sense. I know that made sense to you already. People have 3 to 7, give or take, different images, stories, memories negatively in their mind that's influencing them. Again, you will say in your conscious mind, you'll say it doesn't influence you. It's in the past, it's gone, it's done. But actually, every time that memory comes up, it triggers off a certain set of neurons, and that creates a certain set of emotions in your body. And then those certain set of emotions, you take actions based off those emotions. How do we know that? Well, that's very obvious. If I feel down, I'm not going to go do a lot of great things, am I? Because I'm feeling down. So if I have a micro image in my mind, if I have a micro spike, a trigger, a word, a sentence, a time, a place, location, if I have a trigger, I'm going to go back to that original state, Going to therapy helps you change that original state. It gives you new wiring, new programming, new conditioning, new framing, new whatever you want to say. So that is internal challenge, 3 to 7 challenges that you have on your mind, I have on my mind, which this new information has helped transform those things. They're all still there. But for you, I hope that information is going to help. That's a starting piece of value for this episode. You can't outrun your addiction. Recent example of this, right? Uh, of a prospect I would have met. Um, this element of where, imagine you had a relationship breakup, and in your relationship breakup, all you go do is just go use gambling, use porn, or use drugs on the weekend. That's your way of escaping, right? That's one way. They're unhealthy habits. Or you go healthy habits and you just go running and walking and hiking, and you're jogging and you're getting up and you're doing various activities. You're just meditating all day, right? And if you don't do that, you feel less than. You feel like you had a bad day if you don't do your thing. This is a positive problem, and that's also a negative problem on the other side. The positive problem is that like you're doing a positive action, but you're doing it in coping mechanisms. You're doing it in a way that is like, yeah, you're doing it in a way that if you don't do the positive thing, you're feeling bad about yourself. That's a negative but slash positive coping mechanism. The negative way, just you're taking the drugs on the weekend, and that's just sounds good on in the moment, but then 7 hours later, it's not so enjoyable, right? What am I saying? Whatever the rejection is, the breakup, the loss, the grief, right? If you have grief, you can't keep outrunning your problem. Again, that's where getting help is very useful. And I pause intentionally there to let some things sink in. You can't outrun the grief, the pain, the frustration, and those 3 to 7 storylines that you have in your mind. So no matter what amount of fulfillment you try to get from other things, if that image stays the image, that time stays the time, that person stays the person, that place stays the place, and your associations is always linked up as negative in that thing, well then you're never, no matter what you do on the external world, you're still going to be quote unquote triggered negatively until the rewiring is positive. So you can't outrun your problems. Yet many people do running, cycling, biking, Ironmans, triathlons, whatever you want to do. Again, it's a positive thing. It's positive use of your body, positive use of energy. But if you're doing it from a negative place, like if I don't do it, I feel bad. If I don't do it, I'm losing. If I don't do it, I feel less than. This is an unhealthy way for you to come from things. So you can't outrun your addiction. What's the ultimate goal here? How do we wrap this episode up? Well, we wrap this episode up with not only telling you about the link in the description, but we actually wrap this episode up with there's 3 to 7, give or take, images, times, persons, places, things in the back of your mind that you're feeling upset, frustrated, angered, triggered by. And if you don't change the wiring on that, which that is the work, changing the wiring on that, how you do that is via therapy. How you do that is from journaling. How you do that is from visualization. How you do that is from understanding and writing down your associations. How you do that is from comparing. How you do that is from modeling. How you do that is from working on a workbook or questions. These are all internal things that you do. They're not external things. You're not going to find the answers in the gym. You're not going to find the answers in the protein shake. You're not going to find the answers in the jiu-jitsu gym. You're not going to find the answers external. Again, I say that kind of nuance. You're not going to find the answers there, but it's all internal work. Comparing, associating, memorizing, visualization, meditating. They're all internal actions. If you're spending 45 minutes in the gym, but you're not spending 45 minutes in your head, I think you're not doing yourself justice in the mental capacity. All right, with that being said, if you want to find out more, check out the description. School community's in there, free videos on addiction, coke, alcohol, and also check out the app, Bulletproof Recovery app. And if you find it very valuable, I hope to hear in a couple of weeks, couple of months that was very valuable. So that being said, I look forward to seeing you next episode in a couple of days' time. And have a blessed day, have a blessed week. See you then. Bye-bye.